Hey, welcome back to another edition of Doggin It. I think you know the gentleman to my what is it? Left here? Yeah, left over here.
Here
How are
left.
you, Mike?
I'm good. I'm good. I need some kind of like special guest like photo on the intro.
I think it's time. You know, it's funny because I was thinking about redoing it just the other day. As a matter of fact, I think it was just yesterday where I was thinking about it.
Don't go
Although
scaring away
although
your
I don't know if
followers.
you want to be I don't know if you want to be more associated with this show after the last couple of weeks, or if you want to be more distant
Yeah,
given the way things have gone.
I'm gonna start wearing a life jacket.
Well, the fun's only getting started, buddy. You
It
know,
is.
we
It is.
but we're gonna leave the
Politics
hockey.
out and have fun today, huh?
We're gonna talk pool. We're gonna talk champions. We're gonna talk great players. There's a
Yep.
ton to discuss with the two that we got on deck. We got Sophia Mast, who's going to be joining us here a little later on in the show, and then we also have Tyler Styer, who we're going to be bringing in. And also, Mike, just to let you and everybody else know, I'm working on getting Double J on the show. Hopefully tomorrow. There's some other guests that I'm working on. Mike's working on, but we'll leave that till we get them a little further
Yeah.
locked
All
in.
you're calling people for guests now, and they're all contacting their lawyers first.
It's the days are changing. I'm ruffling a lot of feathers, Mike. You're
Yeah.
still you get a much better pass probably because you're not a jerk like I am, but I'm
Yeah.
liking the way things are going for the most part.
Good.
So
Good.
so anyhow, let's bring in Texas Open just finished up this week. We got a guy who snapped it off in fashion, not just coming up with the win, but coming up with a win in Styer, not style, in Styer and Tyler Styer. How are you, buddy?
What's going on? Doing good. You guys?
Good. Good.
Doing
Good.
good, man. How are you feeling now that you've had a couple of days to kind of take in the win and the victory, and now that you're going to be the 50th winner of the Texas Open?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It really is. Emily actually just congratulated me this morning, and I said, "Your commentators can't call me a 10-ball player anymore." So got a 9-ball win under my belt. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Is this
everybody's like, "Oh, he's just a 10-ball player."
is this a bigger win for you than Bucharest?
I didn't win. I didn't play Bucharest.
Or
I
no,
won the
who?
No,
Kremlin Cup.
the Kremlin Cup,
Kremlin
Russia.
rather. Kremlin, yeah.
Um, I would say bigger in an aspect of you know winning it here, but no, I mean. Um, the Kremlin Cup was, I think it was big for me because it helped give me confidence that I could win internationally because it's
Yeah,
really difficult to travel, you
yeah.
find different foods and jet lag and all that. Um, so I think, and someone told me that I was the fourth player, or I was the only player in the last 20 years besides Shane that won a WPA event on international. So that
Is
was
that
pretty
right?
Wow.
cool.
That's a stat that Panoza ought to know.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. I mean,
Yeah,
you
besides
think of
Shane,
American players winning international events, and the list is pretty slim. And for a lot of those years, there weren't a lot of opportunities other than China,
yeah,
World Championship, a
exactly,
couple of those.
exactly.
So there's more opportunity now, but still, it's been a long time. So yeah, that was a good feather in your cap for sure.
Yeah, so
D-
people that know me, I'm pretty patriotic. So winning overseas is
Can't tell
important
by
is
your
important for
clothing.
me.
no, yeah,
Yeah,
right. There's
right,
we would have never guessed, buddy. We would have never
right.
guessed. Does that kind of put like a chip on your shoulder or motivate you up until this point? Like as far as maybe not just putting more respect on your name, but putting more respect on like the American pool players in general?
Yeah. As you guys know, we get a lot of smack talk towards us, right?
Yeah.
And it's directed
Yeah,
towards us for sure. It's motivating, definitely. And you get sick of hearing it, but a lot of times when people are talking smack, it's probably true, right? So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. The Americans haven't had the best results, and trying to change that, one game
yeah,
and pull at a time, I guess you could say.
yeah. You fight back with results, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Your game's been trending on the upwards, Tyler, for the last, let's say, year and a half, buddy. Like more so than, let's say the last few years, following that Kremlin Cup victory. What would you accredit the progression and where you're heading at and where your game, peaked at over the weekend in getting this victory?
being obsessed. Really, I'm just obsessed. I hate to lose, Mike. I can't even tell you. And you know, December's a lot of motivation, as you know. We all know what's in December. So hate to lose, you know, and I just want to win as much as I can, and just let everything else take care of itself.
How do you channel that and control that? You know, that obsession, that passion, and not let it get the better of you.
Um, there's a good friend of mine that says mind over feelings. Right? Sometimes you have to put emotions aside and just take control of everything and don't let emotions get in the way. So just, taking that with everything that happens, whether you have a bad match, a good match, bad roll, tough draw, lose your luggage, who knows what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Just don't go straight to emotional, because that's what, you know, usually happens for most people. And just say, okay, just instead of making it a big deal, just be like, okay, what's the best I can get from this situation? Kind of stay neutral and move on.
How big of a factor is your better half, Tyler, in kind of keeping you honed in and focused and staying on the positive?
Oh, she's my rock, man. Um, really is my. Um, I have three biggest fans. I gotta be careful. Mom, dad, and wife. I have to be very
Don't
careful.
don't don't don't
So
put them in order, buddy. Don't put them in
no,
order. Don't put
no,
'em in
no,
order.
no. In any order. Mom,
Yeah.
dad, and
Okay.
wife.
There you go. There you
Whatever.
go.
They're all
Yeah.
tied for first.
There you go.
Um, so yeah, she's unbelievable. I have the best practice partner in the world. Um, and I mean, she's a coach as well, so she points out things that she might be seeing that I'm doing. I'll point out things that she's doing. I got to sweat a lot of her matches in Spokane, Washington this weekend. I was watching her on YouTube between my matches. So yeah, we're the biggest supporters of each other, and love each other to death, and love pool, and want to get the game going in the direction it should be going.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind her staying back in Spokane, Tyler, versus coming and competing at the Texas Open? Because you guys could have played in the Scotch together. She could have played in the women's event. So what was the backstory on her hanging back where you guys were coming from?
She couldn't play in the women's
She
event
couldn't play in
because
the women's event because she's
she's in
No.
the
top 10.
she's
She's
top 10.
top 10. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
WPBA
Yeah.
stuff, huh?
Yeah.
yeah. So she can't play. She was in the same situation that
Ah.
April was fighting the last couple of years that we've been talking about. So,
Yeah.
Well,
but the
you're you're lucky. I got
WPBA,
my hands full with the WPA, so
well,
I'll leave that right now.
the WPBA takes really good care of the girls in the top rankings. So their payouts are pretty solid for a woman. I think every women's event has to have 15,000 added to it minimum in order to make it a sanctioned event.
Right.
So that's pretty strong, and I think I'd like for all the men's events to have 15,000 added minimum for ranking points too. So that'd be pretty sweet. So they have a good foundation going. Um, and yeah, I support them 100%. I see the way they treat the girls, so they're doing good things.
Yeah.
Well, you're a balls and strikes kind of guy, so I'll take your word for it. Mike, what do you got?
No, well, I mean, talk about Texas Open. You had a pretty good lineup to go up against. Playing
Yep.
Skyler and Gomez and Shane and Vitali and Sergio. Um, you know, did you feel like your game progressed each match? Did you have any matches that were more of a slog, or did you feel really comfortable the whole time?
No, Shane and that Raid Shabib gave me the biggest problems. Raid played really strong in
Those
the
early
beginning.
on, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had me down like 5-2. I get up 8-6, play a safety after the break. He kicks 100 miles an hour, makes the 9 in a random pocket, and then
I
breaks and
saw
runs
it.
to
I
make it.
was right there. It was
Yeah,
sick. Yeah.
he breaks and runs to make it hill, and I'm like, oh boy, okay. And then he made a mistake, and I made a good out. But yeah, I progressed throughout the tournament, which I think you're supposed to do. Um, I got so here's the thing: when you play a pool room, but there's also new cloth, the tables play kind of weird because they're not slick, but they're not bouncy and play short like a normal pool hole. So some shots play long because of the new cloth, but some shots play short because the balls might not be as clean, and it it's a little bit weird, to be honest. So it took me a couple matches to really get the tables dialed in. But once I did, I was flying for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about that Shane match, because Shane, big albatross for you. Something you really wanted to get over, and you get out to that big lead, and then here comes Shane. And uh, tell me how your feelings, how your emotions, how your heart was going through that match, through the ups and downs of it, and then breaking and running on the hill like that.
I mean, believe it or not, I was super calm because I know I'm playing my best pool right now. So even though like Shane's just gonna do what Shane does, and that's where I take like the emotions out of it. Like I said, mind over emotions, and um, I knew if he gave me a chance, I was clearing out. Right, so I got that chance. I don't know how he broke dry, but Shane Bamboni broke dry for once in his life, and yeah, I was able to clear up and then break and run out. But I didn't expect to beat him 9-0 and 9-1 after I got a 6-0 lead. It just doesn't happen. So he's super tough to beat. I'm probably his biggest fan. Um, I've watched everything he's done for the last 16 years, 20 years, something like that. I think he's been the best player in the world for the last 20 years. It's
Yeah.
great, almost 20 years since he won the U.S. Open. So. But no, we're really, really good friends. We've gotten really close over the last couple of years, have a lot of respect for each other. And I just really enjoy playing him because he brings out the best in me most of the time if he's just not keeping me in the chair. But
It
without these awesome opponents, Sky, Gomez, Shane, Vitaly, and then you get all the Europeans and the Asians, and the list goes on. My game wouldn't be where it's at if it wasn't for those guys
Sure.
pushing me. So.
Sure.
it was pretty poetic, Shane coming up dry in a crucial spot, given how the match ended out in Sacramento. It's kind of a
Yeah.
tale of two tapes there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The fact that both of us got the hot seat 2 tournaments in a row shows that we're in good form. We're hitting them good, and yeah, just got lucky. He broke dry. I felt like even if I lost that match, I was still in shape to get back to the finals, whether John or Victor won. But
Yeah.
it was nice not to have to double dip in the finals for sure.
Yeah, I imagine.
For sure.
Has it taken time, or was there ever a point where playing him there was too much of that, he's my hero in your head type of thing? Did that ever happen? And how did you get over that over the course of time?
He's always played like God against me. It's like he practices. It's ridiculous. Seriously, like the first time we played, he beat me 15-2. We played at Big Dogs a while ago. He beat me like 9-1. We all know what Shane can do. I mean,
Yeah.
look what he did to Alex Calderon. He beat him 9-0 in about 20 minutes.
Yep.
Right, and
Yep.
that's what he used to do to me all the time. But until you start putting packages back on him, he's just going to keep doing it. So, like I said, I just try not to miss, play as perfect as you can, make sure the balls are frozen when you rack right good, and let everything land where it may. But yeah, it's nice to get past him because not past him, but it was nice to
Nice to win
beat
a
him.
match.
Yeah, it's nice to beat him. But that doesn't mean it's going to be easier any other time that I play.
Right.
Right? I think he's the toughest player to beat in the world because he has such a high game.
We got a question from one of our Patreons, Tyler and Nate Tam. He says, "There's no denying that your break, no matter what the format, is one of your strongest assets. What's your process for honing in your break before and during a tournament?"
Yeah, shout out to Nate. I know he's one of my biggest fans. He's always
Yeah. Good
commenting and
question.
making posts and stuff. So I see that stuff all the time. But there's so many variables to the break. There's speed, there's spin, there's draw, there's topspin, there's 10 ball, how much is your bridge elevated, how long is your bridge, where your grip hand is. There's so many variables, how thick you're hitting the rack. So it's just trial and error, just putting the hours in, figuring it out. And I didn't figure out this break until like the last probably 2 or 3 matches, to be honest. But once I figured out the spot and I started really hitting them the way I wanted to, good things happen. I had a hard time getting the 3-point roll no matter how hard I hit them. So, yeah, I mean, in Shane's match, I had a 3-point foul, and I thought I was going to lose the set because of it.
Yeah.
You started off coming out like a freight train, Tyler. I think it was like 6-0 against Shane. When he starts, and I think it was 6-0, and then I think you got 7 also pretty quickly thereafter, even though he had gotten a one on his belt. But at
Yeah.
what point did you think, you know, he's coming? He's on his way, because by the time you knew it, it was neck and neck.
You always know he's coming, man. He's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
coming. Like
Yeah.
you're just not gonna beat the guy. You're not gonna keep him under 4 or 5 in a race to 9 very often, right? Because he's so smart. He pushes out good. He moves good. He banks good. He breaks good. He's one of the best ball pocketers. You don't expect to keep him in the chair. So I've learned to just expect to have the fight at the end. He had momentum in the end, and luckily he broke dry. He should have won, and he knows it. So like I said, I got lucky. He broke dry. He should have had me again, and I didn't really make any mistakes. I didn't miss a ball,
Yeah.
right?
No,
So I
no, it
missed a
was.
jump shot. That's it.
Do you feel like playing on the Matchroom, tour regularly, those 4-inch pockets and those conditions just kind of helps it be that much easier once you go back to a pull room and you're back playing on a standard diamond?
Yeah, for sure. I think you're as good as your tolerances are, right? So I don't like this isn't like an ego thing, but I think if all the pool players were to switch and play snooker in 3 or 4 years, we could all run out on the snooker table because our tolerances would change based on the distance and the smaller pockets and everything. So the players are going to adapt, right? I think if I had a snooker table growing up, if Shane had a snooker table growing up, we'd all be shooting just as straight, right? I'm not going to say like Ronnie or like world championship level, right? That'd be insane. But to say that we couldn't, adjust and play those games well, it's kind of crazy to me with the amount of hours we put
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Yeah. So then take us through the final. Really steamrolled Vitali in the
Mm-hmm.
final. What was, how did that match work out so well for you?
I was just committed to shoot, the right shot. I wanted to stay aggressive, make him know that if he leaves a shot, I'm shooting. Um, I think the best way to win these, especially these 9-ball tournaments, is to just take the bulls by the horn and just run out, right?
Yeah.
I could have played safe in the first rack. I made a jump shot and cue ball landed on the rail, and I tried a cut shot down the long rail. I missed it, but I think it set a tone that I shot a tough shot right away instead of ducking. So I think even though he won that game, he felt that I was going to stay offensive the whole set, no matter what, and he did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man! You beat the guy 9-1. You played perfect pool that whole afternoon. I was there during that Raid match, and I thought you were donezo until he fired that one, whatever it was, one something combo, and then just sold out.
Yeah,
Which really had me scratching my head. But Mike talked about these big wins like Roberto Vitali, but beating Shane and Sky when you're in the hunt for a Moscone Cup spot says a lot about where you are today. Obviously Jeremy was playing in that tournament. He had something to say about your game over the last couple of days, just saying how strong of a performance it was. What does that make you feel like, knowing that you're thought of real highly when it comes to the guy who's in charge of making picks for Team USA?
yeah, of course. Like I said, Jeremy's one of the smartest players in the industry. So just to have his support is awesome. Um, and I remember him saying on the podcast last year, the one that I was with you in at Mandalay Bay, he said that Tyler and Skylar are going to be the heart of this team for a long time. So just hearing that from Jeremy, it just gives you a lot of confidence. It actually makes you relax a little bit, and it's his belief in you, just saying, "Hey, relax, go out there, play your singles events, do your job, and we'll see you in December." So he hasn't told me that, but that's kind of how I interpret, you know, what he's saying
Is it kind of
about
hard
Skylar and
not
I.
to get
Yeah.
it? Is it difficult to not get ahead of yourself and think, I've pretty much got a spot locked up, whether it's points
No, it's
or selection?
it's never locked up because if you're playing bad, he shouldn't pick you,
Right.
right? It's his. I mean, he gets a bonus if I don't know if people know this, but the coaches get a bonus if we win too. So I
Right.
mean, he has. It's in his best interest to pick the guys that are in stroke at the end of the year. So
Well, listen, you thought I gave the WPA hell. Let them keep you off the team, and then we'll see where the storm's at, buddy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're gonna have Jeremy on probably tomorrow night, hopefully. But no, you're playing some great pool, Tyler. And you're hitting a gear at a right time. Me and Mike talked about this, yesterday. It's different playing decent in January versus playing great in September. Heading into that home stretch. Where do you think your ceiling is coming into this gauntlet of events coming up? What's your schedule like? Are you going to be attending the events internationally?
Yeah. I'm going to all the events. Shane and I are going to U.S. Open, Qatar, Vietnam, Austria, Wolf's Den, International Open. So, and then ceiling, I don't think there is a ceiling, right? You just keep pushing, keep pushing. 5 or 10 years ago, did we ever think there was going to be a 840 barbell player? Probably not.
Yeah.
Right? There's going to be an 850, 860, 870, 880. It'll get up there. The players are just going to keep pushing the boundaries, keep getting better.
Yeah.
I think it was after someone ran the 4-minute mile, nobody thought
Right.
it could be done. It was humanly impossible. And then once one person did it, then there were like 8 people that did it within the next year.
Right.
So I think you just have to have that belief and just keep cruising.
So, it was hard not to notice in Europe that you played well and Johan was on the rail.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of things did you guys talk about, work on when you were over there? What did you take away from it? Did it have as big an impact as it looked like it had?
So I think I started to hit this gear. I flew him in when I played Mora in Louisville, and we worked together for a week and just got back to doing the things that I used to do, that we used to do when we would train together. Not that I stopped doing it, but he can see things that I might not see,
Right.
right? And these little reminders here, these little reminders there, focus on your process, yada, yada, yada. He has this whole spiel that he gives me, and it's not the same every time, obviously, or else I'd write it down and just read it to myself every day. But yeah, he's just he's one of my best friends. He keeps me calm. It doesn't matter if we're just out to eat talking about non-pool related stuff. It's nice to hang around with somebody that gets it,
Right.
right? Where he just understands, what's going on. He lived with Niels forever and trained him and got him to his first world title. And I think when you feel good, you play good. And when we're around each other, we're laughing, having a good time. Training hard, but also staying in the right mindset and staying relaxed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I started playing well after the Mora match, during the Mora match. And then I played edgy. That was a nice win as well. It's just big confidence boosters, these big matches that I've been playing. And me and my state coach are looking for some more. We just want to stay in action because you stay sharp. They're fun. They're exciting. Get the adrenaline going.
Yeah.
Get the momentum going to these big tournaments. You learn a lot. I think that's why Shane's as good as he is, because he plays these huge matches, these races to 100, 120, 150, and he's got more experience than all of us, right? So I would love to do that, but it seems like you play one match and everybody wants a spot afterwards, right? Where when Shane and Alex used to play each other, Alex would lose and he'd follow Shane to the next city. Shane would lose and he'd follow Alex, and they would never give spots. They would just keep playing even because they both thought they were better than each other.
Right.
One race to 21 or one race to 50 or one race to 100, that doesn't mean who the better player is, right? So, yeah, now, like when I lost to John, I didn't ask for a spot. I flipped the coin and I played again. When I lost to Edgy, I didn't ask for a spot. I told my state coach, I said, hey, bet double. You can't win, right? And he goes, okay. He went over, made the game. Right. So you have to go back home, make adjustments, work on a couple things, and go back and fix them, and then nobody's going to beat you.
I joked around when I hit you up the morning after the Texas Open and was asking you when you can come on, and I ended it with saying, get your ass back to work. But I want to know when did you really get back to work? Shortly after celebrating, or was there even any celebration?
I saw the prime rib
Margaret
pictures.
Yeah, no kidding.
We were playing. Yeah, Margaret had a prime rib. I had a ribeye.
Yeah.
We were playing three fishing last night. We went down to the pool and we hit some balls. So, and that's a game I love to play. We don't have a table at our home pool room anymore, but it's a game that I think everybody should play. You just learn that cue ball, and we can all learn more about the cue ball. I don't care who you are. So I was showing Margaret the different types of strokes. Like you can hit the same part of the object ball with a different stroke and have it go in 2 different spots with the same tip position, with the same speed. So it's pretty cool. And I think for women players, women should really play three cushion.
Yeah.
Because it's going to teach them a lot that the men know that you don't see in the women's game.
Interesting.
We talked about the Moscone Cup earlier, Tyler, and there was another event that was going on that was a ranking event in Turning Stone. Why did you make the decision to come to the Texas Open versus heading out there to New York?
Because Shane was here.
Elaborate.
That's why. He's the best player in the world. I'm not gonna. I guess you could say ducking. Right? I don't look at a schedule and avoid the best players. I want to see where they're at and go. And I'm not going to the Turning Stone Racking Championships either. So
there it is.
But if Shane was at Turning Stone, I probably would have gone to Turning Stone. But yeah, I mean, him and I have both agreed that we're not going to go back. I know he's won a bunch, but it's ridiculous, man. The fact that the break is the most important part of pool, like the most important shot. If we're getting shots, look what Skylar did to Copigny, right? 10-0, just like that. He broke good, didn't miss. Koa's got no chance. So to let your opponent, who doesn't have your best interest in mind, racking for you on the most important shot of the game is just ridiculous. This is not the 90s. It's not the 80s. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Interesting.
Well, it's not interesting, Mike. That's a lot of players feel that way. But congratulations to Federer on winning it. Tyler, congratulations on a great Turning Stone. You not only won, but you won it. Texas Open. Sorry, Texas Open. Sorry, it's been a long week. You not only won, but you won in style, man. You won over a lot of fans with the way you played the game. You were as sharp as I've ever seen your game be, Tyler. And that means it's no coincidence that you happen to win it, but it was just different the way that she kind of walked around that table, and you knew you were out, man, every single time. So
yeah, it means a lot coming from you, man. Congrats to you as well, building the platform you have and the business model you have. It's pretty cool. Pool needed somebody like you in it, doing what you're doing. So it's pretty sweet. And Mike, you just keep it up. You're doing great as well.
Thank you. So it's fun. It's all fun. It's all good.
I want to bring over.
Nobody gives Melina his flowers.
So. No. Listen, I'm not going to be on anyone's Christmas card list. That's for sure. But we do what we can do for you guys, and at the end of the day, I'm about talking about the game and talking about great players, and we can put drama and bullshit to the side to just celebrate what you got going on. And it wasn't. Like you beat Sky at the Texas Open. To me, that's better than beating Shane in the hot seat, because Sky lives at the Texas Open. Sky has won the Texas Open. That's like his backyard. Yeah. He does very well at that event with a huge home crowd there behind him. I don't think people understand what a win like that, really does to someone's mental game and physical game. So big win. But I want to bring in another champion, one that you were with. Let me see if she can turn her video on, one that you were with before you headed out to the Texas Open, the ladies champion, Miss Sophia Mast. Sophia, welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah. Tell me what tips Margaret and Tyler gave to you while y'all were hanging out in Seattle to put you over the edge. Tell me what tipped the scales.
To beat everyone up. No, it was
no prisoners
with them. They were so much fun, and it was such a good experience.
Yeah,
Tyler, cool. Mike, what do you got for Tyler? Mike, I thought you had a question for him.
No. I'm good. I'm good.
Tyler, what was it like seeing her win the Texas Open while you were sitting there, one table over?
Yeah, it was pretty cool seeing both the junior girls battling out. I know they're good friends, so it was cool to see them, duke it out. Sophia played I think you won the first set, 7-0, right?
Yeah.
Can she hear me?
Yeah,
she can.
I think I heard her cut out.
Yeah.
Well, we might have lost Tyler because he froze up on us, but Tyler, we appreciate you for coming on. We'll get you on out of here. Sophia, I think your audio might be a little a little crackly. So let's try to refresh for me and see if you can come back in. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Well, boy, Mike, that was a big refreshing conversation with Tyler. And one thing that I really respect about him is just how he just shoots you straight. You never have to understand where he stands.
Yeah, and you can see the maturity level. Not that he was, immature before, but you can see his growth as a player and confidence and being able to talk about what's in front of him. He's a straight shooter, and you just see him, his game and his whole mentality reaching a different level, which is really good.
I could not agree with you more, buddy. Sophia, what things do you take away when you're hanging out with top talented, not just male players or women players, but a combination of both, and the power couple that is the Styers?
Um, I take all the advice I can get and use it to my game, especially like since they support us so much. They've like watched us and they're seeing us grow. They just teach us more of how to grow our game and be at their level.
Yeah, well, you're getting there in a hurry.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. I had asked Nick to ask you a few questions after your win, but which I appreciate you for answering them, and Nick for the help as well. But one of those things was, you started off the event with the loss. That was your very first match right out the gate. How discouraged were you, or how did you stay positive and upbeat after taking that first loss, starting out the Texas Open Women's Division?
I was definitely discouraged. I just played really bad, and like I didn't know if I could, like, my body could do it with because my dad said you have to win 10 matches to win this thing, and
Is that what he said? Is
yeah,
that what he told? Oh gosh, yeah.
that's that,
Oh,
that's
Jacob.
that's
we
number one thing not to do in the coaching
Yeah,
manual.
yeah,
and
yeah.
it sounds like so much, or like even like made it so much more difficult in my mind, and I was really discouraged. But also that kept me positive was Nick. He would always watch my matches and support me, and just like I'll look at him, he would always be smiling at me and stuff like that. He would always help me stay confident throughout the matches.
Yeah. Well, it's
Do
good
you?
to be 15 years old if you have to play 10 matches.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, no kidding. Does your goals kind of shift there, or what were your goals leading into it? Seeing the player field as it was, or were you kind of like, let me just try to get to the second day, or where was your head at after the beginning?
Um, I definitely wanted to try and make it to the money, especially losing my first match. I never
Yeah.
expected to win with, because the money wasn't as bad to get to as the finals, and so that was probably my goal. That was my goal to get to the money, but definitely not to win.
Yeah.
Let me bring back in Tyler, and then we'll get him out of here. Tyler, I don't know what happened, man. We lost you.
Yeah, it went out for a second. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Hey, but listen, we appreciate you for coming on, Tyler, for making time for us, and it was a real pleasure to all of us for being able to watch. And I was lucky enough to be able to hang out for a couple of days, but just a massive win, man. And we wish you all the best in your upcoming events as well.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you at the U.S. Open.
Thanks, fortunate guys. It was an awesome tournament. Sophia, really good job. Way to stay strong in that final set. I mean, winning the first set is actually it kind of happens because you have to win too, right? But the pressure really hits when you start the second one. So you stayed strong and continue to play the same way you did in the first one. You got it done. So good job, kiddo.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank
All
you.
right, buddy. We will see you soon. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. I like Tyler. I agree with you, Mike. That guy has just matured quite a bit. His game's just, peaking at the right times as well. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about the road getting into the final before we get to the final, because you had some real difficult opponents. I was watching that bracket kind of develop. You beat, I think it was Tina Malm. You beat Jennifer Kraber, who, they may not be known on the world stage, but they are very strong
Really
regional
strong
players,
players. Yeah.
very strong players. How did you fade them, and how did you come away with the victory? Because I could have sworn I heard you got a couple of hill wins.
Yeah, I think it was Julie. I got a hill win. I was up like 5-2, and then it started going downhill, and she was shooting really well. Like she was running out everywhere, and she was on the hill first, and then she luckily scratched, and then I got out, and then we kept going back and forth on the 8, and she left it kind of in the pocket, and then I got that hill match. And then after that, I had to play Tina, and I ended up being down 4-0 into a race.
Right.
And she didn't miss a ball the first 4 racks. She played safe, and I would kick, or I'd miss it, or I would hit it, and it would leave her something. She didn't miss a ball the first 4 racks, and then I took my break, and I was just in the bathroom, and I'm like this is just crazy. And she should have went up 5-0, but she hooked herself on the 7 ball. And so I got that game, and then I started to come back, and it started to go into my momentum, and I broke and ran on the hill. So
Nice.
that match, and then after that, I played Jennifer Kraber. She played very well, but I felt like my breaks were doing pretty good, so I felt like I had a bunch of break and runs in that match, and then I ended up taking the win. I think it was 7-2. And then I had to play Chris Fields, and ended up being 6-0.
She's another strong player.
Yeah, she played really good. I was up 6-0, and then she started to come back. I was getting a little nervous. I was like I would kept missing the last balls, and then she would get out, and my heart was just beating and racing, especially being up 6-0. And I think it was like 7-3. And then I had to play. Who did I play?
Maybe was Sophia after that? I'm sorry, Savannah.
No,
No.
Savannah was just in the final.
Oh, it was Nicole. I think that was her name, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The semifinal. She was the one that
Yeah.
was in the hot seat. Yeah, yeah, or lost the hot seat match rather.
Um, she played very well too. She was the nicest person ever. It was incredible. And like women are always so to have fun with, but once it comes down to the game, you have to focus on the game. But she played very well, but kind of took the lead, and it kind of crumbled from there. And then it went to the finals with Savannah.
Of all the two ladies to match up, you two who have a lot of history with one another, who played each other quite a bit out in Quincy, it couldn't have been written any better by Pinozo here. Having you two matching up in the finals of the Texas Open, it was unbelievable. Just to be able to get to that kind of match. But do you feel like all of these events that you're playing, the WPBA events, these strong open women's events, do you feel like this is what's helping get your game to the next level?
I do, especially playing like different people and different levels of people. I can, if I watch the pros, like I always like watch through back matches, or watch through their matches and see what they do differently than I do, and I feel like that helps me get to the next because I input it into my game, because I was probably doing the wrong shot and they did it better, and so I think it's helping me go to the next level, and like playing Way all the time, or Christina and Margaret I played. I think it's definitely helping.
Yeah. Well, then you get to the final and you're playing Savannah, who you know so well. So if you get into a situation like that, especially having to win twice, did you feel more comfortable playing someone you know that well as opposed to someone you don't know well, or did it make you more nervous?
I think I felt comfortable. I know her game, and I know how to play. Like, if I know their game, I kind of know how to play them,
Right.
and so I kind of felt comfortable with it. And I just tried to play more safes on her, to get ball in hand so I could run out, and then my breaks were pretty good the first set, and so I would run out from there. So I definitely more comfortable with playing her, and especially since we played thousands of times.
It seems like it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed throughout the event, Sophia, was that it looked like your delivery changed. It wasn't as quick. Maybe it was the eyes were fooling me, but are your mechanics or how you're approaching the game when you're playing, has that been a point of focus recently?
Yeah, I try to look through more shots and like when I was playing like my first match, I wasn't playing much defense, and Nick and my dad were pointing that out, and so I knew if I played defense, I got probably like three fouls in like the other matches
Oh.
after that, and because
Wow.
I was playing really good defense, like, and I never knew that I needed to put that input into my game. I knew how to play defense, but not like if I had a shot on the ball and then play defense because I can't get to the next ball, like not just make it. That's what I started to do and take more time on the shots to find that defense and get ball in hand and run out. That's what I changed through this tournament.
Those are big changes. I remember seeing even guys like Jason, who was all offensive, when he was first coming over here and kind of adapting his game to being more, I don't want to say defense first because he's always going to be an aggressive player, but just making the more proper decision, the right shot versus just trying to make the ball and maybe try to do something a little fancier. It shows maturity, it shows evolution of your game, and I'd imagine a pretty big part and you becoming the youngest Texas Open champion.
Yeah.
Did you know that going into the final that either one of you guys were going to be the youngest ever?
No, I had no clue. When yeah,
How many 15-year-olds did you think win it before you?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that was incredible. Like 50 years is crazy. Like, and especially like starting at 10 only 5 years ago, I would have never imagined I would be here. Never.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great stuff.
Well, what were you hoping to get to then? Like when you flew back into town, because I know you played in the doubles with Nick, and then you left and you came back. But what were you? What was your goal starting off the tournament?
Um, to probably level up. Like every tournament, I try to do better than the last,
I like the honesty.
and know like when I practice, I want to do my struggles and then find a way that I can input it into the matches. And so I know that I can actually do it. And I definitely taught myself this weekend that I can do anything. That, especially that
Now
I,
you're dangerous.
yeah. Like I had no clue I could do this, and I showed myself that I could.
It's a good lesson to learn, right? Are you playing in Michigan?
I am, yes, I.
Okay. Do you have a goal set for Michigan? Because you
Um.
won the last one, so leveling up
Yeah.
that'll
Okay.
be a big step in Michigan.
Oh, I was thinking Alabama. Sorry, I'm going to
Oh,
Alabama again.
Oh,
Iron
City.
City, right?
Right, right.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to Iron City. That's a WPBA event. My goal for that event is to make it in the money because I'm always one out of the money at the WPBA. So that's my main goal, to get into the money.
Okay.
Well, I like your chances, kid. Just seeing if your game's getting even better. I'd imagine that your finishes are going to continue to improve on every level. I made a post before the finals, complimenting you and Savannah, saying these aren't two great junior players. These are two, great players. And I think you guys are showing that on every stage. Like it's one thing to be a good story, right? And you girls are easy to root for. It's another thing to prove that, hey, we're great opponents on the pool table. And you got all of our congratulations and respect because of the way you play the game.
Yeah.
So
Mike, you got anything else, buddy?
Just want to know what kind of schoolwork she's working on these days.
Attaboy. Get after her, Mike. Get after her, Uncle Mike.
I do online school, and so I could travel and do school and finish the work before I play, so I don't have to work.
Yeah. How many hours a day do you spend on schoolwork?
Probably not much, like maybe 3 hours depending on the week.
Yeah.
And sometimes I finish on Wednesday, and so I don't have
Okay.
to work on Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
It's different depending on the week how much work we have.
Yeah.
So where are you at now?
What do you mean? And
Like
what?
where and what
Physically.
and
Oh,
physically? Yeah, yeah.
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
What and so what are you? What is a Florida girl doing in Denver, Colorado?
Snow
I'm.
skiing.
Yeah, right. Celebrating.
I know, right? We ate some good food and training for World with Sam.
Yeah. Training for the worlds. Yeah. You're excited for that, I'll bet.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Now, have you played in the worlds before? You
I played.
played once, right?
Yeah, I played in Puerto Rico last year. The year
Okay.
before, to go to Austria, but then we ended up canceling because of
Right.
COVID.
Right. Now, when you played last year and you saw these junior players from Asia and from Europe playing, what was your takeaway from that? What did you think? Was it intimidating? Were they a lot better than you thought they would be? What was going through your mind when you run into these kids from foreign countries who you don't know much about?
I try to go into every match positive, especially not knowing who they are. Um, I never win every tournament, and which they played very very well, and like I'm not like you said, you said they play very very well, and I didn't know going into it, so I don't know how I really felt. I always try to stay positive.
Yeah.
Anybody play, and I play the table, not the opponent. So
Yeah.
Sorry,
Good.
I got my daughter cleaning out my desk over here, getting all the pennies, nickels, and quarters while I'm live. She knows I can't get after her, so she's just loading up her piggy bank here. Uh, no,
that's
hey,
it.
listen, yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. But no, Sophia, listen, congratulations. We wish you all the best, like we did Tyler. It's pretty awesome, man. Like that's a Texas Open has a lot of history, a lot of great names that you'll be on a list on a list of, and you'll be forever remembered. You know, there was that cue that James made, had every winner of the Texas Open for the last 50 years, and when it comes to the women's division, you'll be included in that list. So that's pretty
Yeah.
sweet, man.
Cool stuff.
Absolutely crazy.
Well, we hope to have you on again soon. Thanks so much for stopping by. Make sure and get your schoolwork done. Work hard, practice hard, and hopefully we'll be following up with you pretty soon, Sophia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.
See you. All right, Mike. That was pretty good, buddy.
That's
Pretty,
great
pretty.
stuff. I mean, you're seeing, player like Tyler kind of grow up in front of your eyes, mature more. And then you see someone like Sophia come on as 16, who's 15, who, is so level-headed and dialed in and understanding and really, articulates her thoughts well. These young kids that are playing, they're 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 little adults. Their game is at that level, and their mentality is at that level, and they are growing up in a hurry. And I think these are, you don't know with a lot of these kids who are 13, 14, 15, is pool going to be their life for the rest of it? But whether it is or not,
Right.
they're learning these life skills and dealing with other people and dealing with adversity and tough situations and
Bingo.
believing in themselves and all that kind of stuff. This is stuff that's gonna carry them and help them through their entire lives. I mean, you see kids like Savannah and Sophia, and you talk to them, and you're like, I don't care what these kids do when they grow up, their game's gonna be tight.
No, without a doubt, I couldn't agree with you more. And this generation of player is just, and especially these girls, because of the successes they're having, are under that much more of a microscope to be kind of like judged for better or worse online when it comes to
Right?
things. And I'd imagine that's not easy to go and deal
And
with,
fade,
Mike.
no, not at
You know,
all.
yeah. So um, they're just getting even stronger here. They're getting stronger on the table. It's it's very you've been keep an eye on junior players a lot longer than I have, but it's pretty cool to kind of see them go from, like, I remember seeing them play last year at junior nationals, and before the final, Savannah had said, I never beat her. I've never beaten her before. Talking about Sophia. Then
Yeah.
she wins that. And of course they had their epic, clash out in Quincy just,
Yeah.
whatever it was, a month and a half ago. And then to, see those two of all two, out in
The final of the
Texas.
Texas Open. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty strong.
it's pretty sweet. You can't help but be fans of them. And plus they're
Yeah.
good kids too,
Yeah.
So, anyhow, Mike, great show today. We're gonna have a lot more coming up. I'm gonna try to get Federer on. Likely, we're gonna get Jeremy Jones on in the next couple of days. I'd imagine. Well, yeah, the drama is not done yet. But
No, far
today
from
was
it.
no far
I'm
from it.
taking
Yeah,
a day off. Let's take a day off.
I don't know. I reached out to someone and they said, "Well, Pinoza already reached out." So I'm excited to kind of pick your brain on that off the air
Okay.
before we go and have more opinions on the air. So keep your notifications on. We're going to be live a lot over the next couple of days. I'm glad to be home, but we'll be in your home pretty soon. So thanks so much, everybody, for stopping by, and we'll see you guys soon.
See you later.